everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is going to show how we push the limits of these new plant hybrids, specifically trialing their resilience against our tough Central Texas summer conditions, which can be quite brutal. We wanted to see how these new plant hybrids and or cultivars stack up against the species. And if you are in the process of getting your spring orders ready, this information could help you select the plant that is truly best for you. And as always, if you find any information presented helpful, please consider clicking like and or subscribe and notifications. Let's just get right into this. Number 1, Perovskia atriplicifolia, also known as the standard Russian sage, versus Denim and lace Russian sage. The Denim and lace Russian sage is a popular cultivar of the same species, and they share some core traits like drought tolerance. They have fragrant silvery green foliage, long summer to fall blooms of these gorgeous lavender blue flowers. Both work well in full sun. They actually prefer it. Both are deer and rabbit resistant. They attract pollinators like bees and hummingbirds, and both thrive in hot, dry conditions in USDA hardiness zones 4 through 9. Both plants have airy, lacy textures that will add a little bit of an ethereal beauty to gardens. But here are the key differences. The standard species typically grows taller, so 3 to 5 feet, with a more open, sprawling habit, with widely spaced flowers, which can make it look lighter, more diffused at times. And it can, on occasion, require staking. In contrast, Denim and lace Russian sage is more compact, reaching about 28 to 34 inches in height, with a spread of about 36 inches in width, a little more. It's going to have stronger upright stems that resist flopping, and the denser clusters of its brighter sky blue flowers on vivid amethyst calyxes give a fuller, more intense color display that lasts longer, even post-peak, with an overall tidier form. Both of these plants are low maintenance, they have aromatic leaves, and they create a gorgeous blue-purple haze effect in the landscape. You're going to want to choose the classic Perovskia atriplicifolia for larger spaces needing height and airy drama, but you may want to opt for the Denim and lace Russian sage in smaller gardens, borders, containers, or for modern designs where you want a bolder, more reliable color without having to provide any extra support. Next is mealy sage, so Salvia farinaceae, also called Mealycup sage or mealy blue sage, versus Mystic Spires salvia, often referred to as Mystic Spires blue, which is a hybrid of Salvia farinaceae and Longus piccata. These two salvia share many traits. They're both very tough plants. They can tolerate a lot of heat and drought. They have aromatic foliage with long blooming spikes of these blue-violet flowers that appear from late spring to fall or frost. Both grow well in full sun. They attract pollinators like bees, butterflies, and hummingbirds. And both are deer and rabbit resistant. Both plants thrive in well-drained soil, can deal with hot, humid conditions as well as hot, dry conditions, and both will add vertical interest to borders or containers. They do well in roughly USDA zone 7 to 10. However, they can be grown as annuals in colder areas. Now, the key difference is mealy sage is typically taller and it has a more open, sprawling type of mounding growth habit. It can grow up to about 3 feet overall. It has these silvery mealy calyxes with lighter blue to violet tubular flowers and looser spikes, and it's a little bit more delicate. In contrast, Mystic Spires is more compact and upright, becoming about 30 inches in height and width. With sturdier stems, it's going to have denser, darker, royal deep blue flower spikes. The color can be pretty intense on this bushy, well-branched plant that rarely needs staking. The similarities focus on their low maintenance, prolific blooming nature, fragrant leaves, and ability to provide what some refer to as a cooling blue haze in hot gardens. You're going to want to choose the classic mealy sage for a natural, airy look in larger naturalistic plantings or in a native inspired garden. You're going to probably want to go with the Mystic Spires for bolder, more reliable color impact in smaller spaces, borders, or containers where its tidier structure and intense blue blooms shine. Next is the El Niño Chitapla, the compact cultivar of the hybrid. It is the Chitapla tashkentensis crossed from a desert willow and catalpa. A desert willow is just a straight Chelopsis linearis. Now, both of these plants, what they have in common is that they share excellent drought and heat tolerance. They have long summer to fall blooming trumpet shaped flowers that attract hummingbirds, bees, and butterflies. Both do exceptionally well in full sun, have low water needs once established. They are very deer resistant and suitable for hot, dry, southwestern United States and Texas landscapes. The El Nino is for USDA zones 6 through 9. The key differences are the El Nino is more compact and shrub-like. It will become 10 to 15 feet in height, 8 to 10 feet in width, and it's often pruned to be smaller than that. It's going to have these thicker gray-green lance-shaped leaves that are wider in the middle, and they have these huge orchid-like fragrant flowers in a deeper pink lavender purple shade that can come in dense clusters. There's no messy seed pods because it is a sterile hybrid, and it has better cold hardiness and tolerance for poorly drained soil. So basically, if you have clay soil and you don't live in a zone 7 and higher, then the El Nino Chitapla may be the plant that you want to select. Now, in contrast, the classic desert willow grows taller, becoming 15 to 30 feet in height with a more open tree-like form. The flowers are pink, sometimes variable, and it produces long, narrow seed pods that can litter up the area. You're going to choose the classic desert willow for a taller, native Texas look with natural grace in larger spaces, but you may want to opt for the El Nino Chitapla in smaller yards or as a focal point shrub, or where you want bolder, fragrance-intense blooms, tidier habits, less litter, and extra cold resilience without sacrificing desert toughness. The species for number 4 is the Ligustrum japonicum, or Japanese privet, which can be highly invasive and become quite large, reaching heights of over 15 feet. Today we're going to talk about two cultivars, the Texas privet, so the Ligustrum japonicum Texanum, also known as the waxleaf privet, versus the hybrid Kindly privet, which is the Ligustrum japonicum Kindly. Now, both of these plants are evergreen Japanese privet, prized for their dense, glossy foliage, fragrant white flowers. They make excellent hedging or screening plants. They resist drought once established, and they are adaptable to various soils. Both of these plants are hardy in USDA zone 7 to 10, maybe 11. But you're going to likely want to select the classic Texas privet or waxleaf privet if you want a taller, thicker, quickly established screen in a large space. It's going to become anywhere from 6 to 12 feet in height, 4 to 8 feet in width, on a denser but potentially more sprawling habit that responds very well to heavy shearing. And of course, invasiveness isn't a major local concern. Now, in contrast, you may want to opt for the kindly privet in smaller yards, or if you have an eco-conscious garden, A modern design needing a neat contained plant, or if you just want an environmentally friendlier option with medium green, glossy leaves on strong, upright branches that gives it a tidier, natural shape. It is a seedless, non invasive variety. Next is Echinacea, commonly known as the coneflower, with about 9 to 10 species. One of the most popular and widely cultivated is the Echinacea purpurea, and that is what we're going to be testing all the hybrids against today. Now, they're going to share core traits like being tough plants or tough, long blooming perennials with daisy like flowers that appear from summer to fall. They typically have excellent drought and heat tolerance once established. They grow well in full sun. They're excellent pollinator attractors as they appeal to bees, butterflies, and even birds for seeds. The species and many of the cultivars are hardy in USDA hardiness zones 4 through 9. But the key differences include the straight species features classic single purple pink petals drooping around a prominent coppery orange cone. It has reliable longevity, abundant nectar, pollen, seeds for wildlife, for maximum ecological value, wildlife support, or more eco-focused gardens. Now, the hybrids, on the other hand, they offer expanded colors. So orange, red, yellow, white, green, even double or multi-toned blooms. They even have varied forms like double blooms, pom-poms, or upright petals. You can find these in compact sizes, but the large, bolder blooms can be short-lived, less nectar-rich, or they can have poor seed production for birds. You may want to opt for the hybrids in ornamental beds, containers, or smaller spaces where you want that eye-popping color variety. Okay, there you have it. We hope you have found this information useful. If so, please consider subscribing and giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you for watching. Bye.